Hey there. So right now I'm doing a video for Sammy's Falagar517's 300 subscriber contest, and got to make a couple alterations in my entry. And well, first off, I can't do the dice part unfortunately, because I don't really have much dice around here, and this is what I have used. So I got the dice part, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the video response part. I'm going to have to break it up to 2 videos over 15 minutes because I'm doing mine on an iPad, and because of space issues and because of the way that this uploads, I for some reason cannot do a video that goes 15 minutes long. If you've noticed, my videos are usually 14 minutes or so and under, and that's why there's some videos with multiple parts. That being said, if you have not checked out Falagar517's channel, definitely do so. Check out the 300 subscriber contest. Awesome stuff. You know, I haven't seen what the contest prizes are yet. I haven't checked that video out, but I did check out parts 1 and part 2 to see what the rules of the contest were. And you wanted to, first question was, you wanted some movies that can be paired together. So, first off, and I actually bought this as a pack, but it is 2 movies that actually can be greatly paired together, and it is Bride of the Gorilla with Lon Chaney and Bride of the Monster by Ed Wood. And aside from being movies with the word bride in them, there are actually some very kind of cool, fun, cheesy Z grade, sci-fi horror mystery science theater type stuff. You can have one hell of a cool time just like sitting back, putting these on. These are each about like less than 70 minutes. So you put them both on, and within a little over 2 hours, you and your friends have had an hilarious time. You can make drinking games out of these things. You can riff the hell out of them. You can just have a lot of fun with these movies. This is actually probably my favorite Ed Wood movie above the movie Plan 9 from Outer Space, which everybody touts as his best worst. I think this is his best worst. It's got some great stuff in it. It's just so cheesy. Raymond Burr is in this one actually, and of course the beautiful Barbara Payton. So really just yeah, a lot of pain, but good pain. That being said, next up for my second pairing. And I don't have them both here. I got one up the shelf, and I'm not going to get it out because it's way up high. And that is There's Nothing Out There, which is probably an early self-referential horror film. And it's a horror movie that knows it's a horror movie and spends a lot of time talking about other horror movies. It has a horror movie geek that's the star of the movie. And it's a pretty cool film. But what would I pair this with? I would pair it with Scream, which has been known to be the king of the self-referential horror comedy things. There's Nothing Out There and Scream may not seem like the most natural choice, but watch them both together and you'll see why. I highly recommend this film, by the way. It's a really cool film, and this features on this hair set from Trauma. Incredible. This is the 2-disc 20th anniversary edition, and it has the short that stars Tiffany Shepis. Mood Boobs. Check it out. Anyway, this one and Scream. Next up is one that seemed like a natural for me, and almost everybody I know has seen this documentary. And seriously, guys, if you have not seen this documentary, get out there and see it. Check your Netflix. If it's not on your Netflix, go rent it, Redbox it, buy it. And at the end of the day, this is so cool. You are going to want to buy it anyway. It's one of the best documentaries out there for film, and it's called Not Quite Hollywood. It took me a long time to find this. It was one of the blockbusters that was closing down back in the day that I found this at. Not Quite Hollywood talks about exploitation films, and after watching this, you're going to want to see a crap load of exploitation films, and you want to see one of the top exploitation films that back in the day, Escape 2000, otherwise known as Turkey Shoot. Done in Australia, starring Steve Railsback, Olivia Hussey, Carmen Duncan, Linda Stoner, just a directed by Brian Trenchard Smith. Just a great cheesy exploitation film. Works perfect. After you watch this, you want to see one of the Australian movies. This is a perfect starter. You know, there's other Australian exploitation movies out there, but I think this and this go extremely well together. Only other one that you can probably call this, if you're doing 3, you'd probably get Patrick. But these two here, really well together. Like you mentioned, like you predicted actually, Night of the Demons and Witchboard. 2 films that go extremely well together. Aside from being by the same director and is Kevin Tenney, these are just 2 extremely fun films that work so well together. This is a great cheese fest with some cool practical special effects, great cast. Acting is not always the best, but it doesn't matter because the film is done so well. It is so well edited and put together, and it's just fun. You know what you're getting in for, and you don't mind at all, you know, when the acting gets bad. Or you're just having fun. You're just having overall fun with this thing. And with Witchboard, Kevin Tenney's first film, this is actually a pretty damn good horror film. Aside from having the gorgeousness that is young Tawny Kitaen, and the ultra coolness of Stephen Nichols, you just have a really great film. And these 2 films I tend to watch these together. It just I'm not sure if it's just the style of the films that I like together, but these just kind of fit really well together. Like, a lot of people would go with Night of the Demons and Night of the Demons 2 and stuff like that, but me, I kind of like these 2 together. They show the early work of Kevin Tenney, and both these should be in everybody's collection. Don't have one without the other. Next up is one I can find, the one I got to look for, so I'll show the one I got here right in my hands. Night the Hunter, and of course, Cape Fear, the original. Here we got Robert Mitchum at his best, and you want to see Robert Mitchum as a psycho again, doing some awesome stuff. This may be one of the best movies that was ever made, and it was the only movie that Charles Laughton ever directed, which is a crime. And Cape Fear was an incredible film as well, starring Robert Mitchum, again as a psychopath, but a different style of psychopath. These movies just go so well together, and the tone and Robert Mitchum's just style of work. He's just a fantastic actor, one of my favorites, one of my father's favorites actually, and iconic picture right here, just incredible stuff. Next up, a second film here, House on the Edge of the Park, which I did a review of. This one and Last House on the Left, I don't think I've got to say much more on that. This movie with David Hess, the rapist killer from Last House on the Left, is the rapist killer in this movie. He tortures and makes a lot of people suffer in this movie. He does so in Last House on the Left, and he gets his comeuppance from family members in both of these films, at both House on the Edge of the Park and Last House on the Left. 2 great films to check out together. Actually, for entertainment value, I kind of prefer this one, but it makes a great double feature. Next up, you mentioned the movie Mean Girls, and you put a great film to go with it. But I have another film to go with Mean Girls, actually, and it's one from my day. And that would be putting Mean Girls with another film that I think probably inspired Mean Girls quite a bit, and that would be the movie Heathers. Heathers is one of my favorite childhood films of all time, and I really enjoyed it. Now, Mean Girls is a fantastic film, and it is a gorgeous cast. But so is Heathers. Heathers goes farther. In Heathers, we have Christian Slater and Winona Ryder, and of course Shannon Doherty's in as well. And it's basically about a bunch of mean girls, but they're called Heathers in the school, and how Christian Slater teams up with to basically off the popular 9 kids that he thinks are ruining the school. to the point where he's actually going to, well, watch the movie. Next up is Tough Turf and New Kids. And Tough Turf is a movie starring, well, James Spader as a very young James Spader. And James Spader in the movie is, well, he's an asshole. Not in Tough Turf. Actually, James Spader's a nice guy in Tough Turf. In Tough Turf, he's the, oh my god, I'm trying to remember. Because, I'm going to get them both confused, and they're both, I love both these movies. So, we're going to make sure here. Yes. Tough Turf is a movie where James Spader moves with his dad, he's relocated, and there's some bad guys, some bullies, picking on James Spader, and basically Spader has to face off against these guys who are way more than your average bullies. It's a fantastically fun film from the 80s. This was around the day that they were gonna bring James Spader. They weren't sure which way to bring him because he was such a good actor, and he was a good-looking guy, but he could play the bad guy role as well. And that's why this movie, New Kids, is such a good one to pair it with. In this movie, Lori Loughlin and don't remember the other actor's name right now, are two kids that move into a new town. Their parents have passed away, and they moving in with their aunt and uncle. And the bad guys are not your typical bullies. They go way, way beyond. They take bullying to another art form, and they're psychotic. And the psychotic leader of these bullies, well, James Spader. And let me put it to you this way. In 1985, the movie Tough Turf was released. In 1985, New Kids was released. One has James Spader fighting the bullies as the downtrodden teen, and in the other one, James Spader is the most psychotic bully you can imagine. And both films go well together. And if you want to swap that one out, I'm giving you a swap it one for that one there. Because, just to be a little bit more fun. There's one you can swap out. You watch a couple of them, you're like, oh, want to see something a little bit different, or you want to put a third one in? Let's put a third one in. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go that step beyond, like I mentioned before, like you mentioned in your video. And I will say, you want a third one for that? Tough Turf. I have two alternates if you want to make it a threesome. And, well, God doesn't want to make it a threesome. No. But seriously, Tough Turf, New Kids, and either you go with Pretty in Pink, Slimy James Slater again, or you go with a movie that doesn't even have James Slater in at all. Class of 1984. Fantastic film. Bullies that go too far. Teacher that has to come back and get revenge. And I think Teacher was played by Perry King. It's been a long time since I've seen it. And unfortunately I don't own the film, but it's one that I really, really enjoy. And I want to put that in there. That is my video for the first half of this contest. So, my next video, we're going to be talking about movies that were inspired to get by other people. So, hope you like this, and I hope by breaking this up into two, it'll count as one epic, long, way over 50-minute video. If it doesn't, that's okay. But either way, this was the only way I could do it. Thanks for watching, and for me right now, when this video uploads, it's time for tea.